Not everyone can become the president of the United States, but that doesn't mean you can't live like a president. According to a Weibo post that cites the Mirror, Ron Wade, a father of two, is such a fan of the White House that he spent over $200,000 to build himself a replica of the Oval Office in his own home. Apparently, Ron became rather obsessed with the presidency when he assisted senior George Bush by assisting with his campaign when he was only 13 years old. Ron also owns one of the world's largest presidential memorabilia. In fact, Ron puts so much attention to detail that even George W. Bush once commented that his replica Oval Office was identical down to the last detail. Now, Ron gives tours of his home to guests and has since expanded his effort to include one of JFK's former cars and a rocking chair that once belonged to Calvin Coolidge. He is also very fortunate that his wife supports his hobby 100% and that his children have thought of turning his home into a museum. And now let's take a look at what Chinese internet users had to say about this story.
This is a rich man's hobby. I read the news. This guy knows 7 presidents and has a close relationship with the Bush family. It's very hard for a regular nobody to have a collection of historical memorabilia like he does. I guess he likes to role play as the president. Anyways, good job. He just gave an idea to the rich and tasteless in China. Chinese people with too much money should build a replica of the Chinese presidential office. This would be impossible to accomplish in China since no one knows what the office of the Chinese president looks like. I do not condone this behavior. He is not the president and he shouldn't pretend that he is. He's just living in his little fantasy that no matter how hard he tries, he will never become the president. This is a demonstration of his worship of power. I'm not a fan of this and I don't understand what pleasure he gets out of it. It's as if someone built their home to look like a throne room. Do they really think they are a king? What a waste of money. Better to have done some charity with it.
You might be surprised to know that many Chinese government officials are also big fans of American architecture. In fact, you might find more Capitol Hill buildings in China than in any other country in the world. For example, here we have a local government building that looks like a combination of the White House and the Capitol Hill building. And as far back as in 2002, a Chinese millionaire surnamed Huang was even featured in a Time magazine article for spending $10 million to build a replica of the White House on his property. Now, if only he had teamed up with Ron Wade, they would have made an amazing replica.